down to the waterfront just to sit in the shade of a tree for a little while, even though it's not too hot today. Of course it's not cold. And there's Phu Quoc Island, Vietnam, just there, not far off the coast of Cambodia. It got me thinking about Vietnam and Cambodia. Maybe I should make some preliminary remarks. There will be quite broad generalizations, so forgive me for that. But there are some things I've noticed. The two countries, although they are neighbours, are ethnically and culturally quite different, and they practice different types of Buddhism. And Buddhism is a part of it. I think Cambodia is the most Buddhist nation in the world. Maybe something like 90 to 95% are Buddhists, and this affects their worldview, and one of semi-withdrawal, tranquility, peacefulness, quite good qualities. Whereas the Vietnamese, well, Buddhism is also there. It's another type of Buddhism, or a more recent type of Buddhism. But I think the more important influence in Vietnam is Confucianism. That 1,000 years of Chinese occupation, it makes them analytical and industrious, very disciplined people, whereas the Cambodians are laconic. Not that one is better than the other, I'm not trying to suggest that at all. They're both interesting. And the qualities of the people in both countries are great. You know, they're absolute sweethearts, both the Vietnamese and Cambodian people. It's a joy to be amongst them and to experience and live their cultures and their cuisines. I think English is much more widely spoken in Cambodia than it is in Vietnam. In fact, on my way here, I stopped in at a local French cafe, delicatessen and bakery, and there was a Cambodian man and his daughter from Phnom Penh who were visiting, and we had a really good talk. As a former Cambodian Prime Minister once remarked, it is sometimes better to be a little poorer if one has more freedoms. And I believe that. The freedoms of daily life here, the way that people live and work, can almost work their own hours and work together as families. It's an incredible freedom. And I think it was Prince Sihanouk that said about being colonised by the French that it's never good to be colonised. But if one is colonised, then it's better to be colonised by a nation of gourmets. It's quite incredible the way that both Cambodia and Vietnam have adapted the French influence and others. For example, it's quite easy to find Mexican food here in both countries. And they've adapted them and put a little spin on them, and so you get these sort of hybrid Indo-Chinese Western type cuisines. You know, what may have been a bread roll in New Zealand is a banh mi in Vietnam, with very tasty and good value. I don't know if you can see those little fish in there. There are thousands of little fish swarming around in there, down in the water. Other people have come down to and enjoy the coast. Now, where did those little fish go? Maybe they've gone down to the shadows a bit further along. I've noticed on a previous occasion when I came down here, the fish seem to concentrate in the sunlight, I imagine because it's slightly warmer. Okay, well, they're my preliminary thoughts. No doubt I'll work them up into something else. The upshot of it all being that these countries, Cambodia and Vietnam, are good places to be. And the people are good, the cultures are good, the cuisine is good, and the history is really interesting. Definitely worth visiting and studying. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Well, I was out on my random walk, wandering around, thought I'd finish this film, finish shooting it, and I ran into Mr. Hong, friendly tuk-tuk driver, tour guide, and real estate agent. So if you want an apartment to rent, or even a place to buy here, you can call Mr. Hong. So then I thought, okay, well, I'll just go around and shoot a couple of things in the area just to give you an idea. Like a pharmacy, okay, good pharmacy in Kep Beach. And then I went to an American-owned cafe where you can get some good Mexican food and some other little decadent delicacies that I filmed but did not buy, because I don't eat that sort of stuff. But who am I to judge? Just presenting it. So, okay, thank you. This is what I mean about certain types of freedom that seem to be less prevalent in the West. Usually there's a man here, a motorcycle mechanic. People will just stop as they're riding by and get something done, a tyre inflated, a little bit of work done on their bike, and then they'll ride off. He's here most days. He's not here right now. I see a little jack there and various engine oils, etc. Spare tyres. And if it's in the middle of the day and he's not here, you'll find him in the hammock. Oh, there he is over there. I'm not sure where he lives. And we see something here, I'm not sure what it is. I'll call it an emblem of freedom. Freedom to work your own hours, structure your own time. Quite often when I walk past this place, you'll see 2 or 3 generations of the family sitting out under that thatched building, open building, talking and just enjoying the day. A farmer, he's there right now swinging away on the hammock, having a little siesta. It used to be said, I don't know if it's still true, that for something like between 60 or 90 days work a year would be enough to sustain people so that they could get on with other aspects of their life. This was also true in Laos, where in some parts of Laos people were or are so tied up with ritual and religious duties and festivities that they have very little time for work. Indeed, one 19th century French explorer described it as a paradise equivalent to Tahiti, but populated instead by Buddhists, which indeed sounds idyllic. But of course there is work happening. This is at my favourite roadside diner, where I can get a soup for about $1.25 a pho, or chicken fried rice for about $2. They're not here right now. Sometimes they don't open. I experienced that in Ho Chi Minh City also. where I had my breakfast at a place which must have been owned by Chinese Vietnamese, because twice a month without announcement they just wouldn't be open. Like everyone else, I came to understand eventually that these were monthly Chinese festivities that they closed for. And here's a little store. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello and bye-bye. Here comes Mr. Hong, tuk-tuk driver and tour guide, plus apartment or houses for rent. You call him in Kep. He lives up in Whitehorse. Hello. The Kep coffee is American owned, but it's quite some distance from where I live, at least 6 kilometers, so it's quite a hike. Whereas this place, Kep's Deli, L'Artisan Boulanger, it also has another name, is where I usually come because it's just a couple of 100 meters from where I live. So if one gets a hankering for Western style food and opulence, it's also available here. There's an excellent little pharmacy down in Kep Beach, which is very well supplied with products from France, I see, and other places. So that's about it. In summary, I would say that Cambodia and Vietnam are rapidly developing nations with unique mixtures of cultural traditions and modernity. So thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Just click on that arrow in the bottom right hand corner. You'll come back now, you hear.